for everybody that's joining. We appreciate your time today. I hope everyone is staying safe. I imagine you're all working from home today for the most part, and just hope everybody that is involved in the work from home stuff is definitely staying safe, and everybody in your actual company is not impacted by this virus. So with that, I am going to get right into our presentation. Just a second. Okay, so presentation today, we're going to talk about high performance remote compute private cloud. I am a quick agenda here is I will talk about who I am. I want to introduce Advanced 2000 and our compute solutions. We'll do some client case studies, problem solve. We're going to hear from a customer today, David Lee, who's the owner of Quorum Architects, about his experience with our service and how that has impacted, how that pandemic has actually impacted Quorum Architects, and then we will take some questions. So let's jump right into it. Who am I? My name is Randall Schultz. I have been working in the design industry since 2004, helping companies move to private cloud in the Advanced 2000 data center since about 2010. I've worked in different technology roles, wearing many different hats, from production staff, 3D visualization, software implementation, training, and even bed management for a large healthcare rep. I also own my own business, CADforce, since 2007. I am a father to 3, husband to 1. I'm an entrepreneur. I love woodworking, fishing, and I go on the occasional treasure hunt. Advanced 2000. We have been in business since, nearly 30 years. So we employ about 180 people. We've got 80% of that is highly trained and certified IT engineers. We've got main offices in 8 cities, as well as partners across the country and in Canada. We've got clients across North America, Canada, and abroad as well. We're a privately owned data center. We've got a couple data centers in Western New York. Our headquarters is in Amherst, and we own all the assets and those data centers outright. So we're not really subject to shareholders and things of that nature. So we're fully self-supporting IT managed services company, and been in business for quite a while. So let's just jump right into it. While everybody's here, what is a private cloud? If you don't know, private cloud is basically customer focused. All of our applications, all of your desktops, all of your servers, everything you need to run your business is in a single data center. It's accessed remotely, so you don't have to move data across the internet and across the country. It's secure and private to that individual company. It kind of represents a utility model and the supply and consumption of IT services over the internet. It allows for virtualized and scalable computing resources, which is key. There's a lot of clouds out there right now. We've got Amazon, Dropbox, Apple. Our private cloud solution delivers desktops, applications, and servers online that can be accessed through a remote desktop protocol securely from anywhere. The only necessary requirements are a simple access device and an internet connection. Okay, so that's the private cloud we're talking about today. Requirements are very limited to have access to this. So desktop virtualization. for Advanced 2000, this means um, application performance driven solutions. Okay, some people have, they may have had a bad experience with remote computing, especially using Autodesk apps. Our solutions are really built to serve the AEC applications, and we're very good at it. We've worked out all the kinks of the past to get these virtual desktops to perform like or even better than local desktop experience. Large data sets can be stored in a single location, so multiple users can now access much more efficiently when you're working as if everybody is in the same office. So you log in, you've got your desktop, all your applications on it, it's sitting right next to your server. This is reduces inefficiencies of file transfers and moving data across the country and across the internet. Just really increases efficiency between collaborators, internal and even external. Upgrades and installations, these can be accomplished in a single step. From an application management standpoint, it's very efficient. When you're rolling out updated versions of applications, eliminates time and expense of per user, IT management, and support. So that's really desktop virtualization in a nutshell. These comprehensive compute solutions are, all AEC user required applications. So in the beginning, we couldn't really support all AEC apps, but now we really have a solution for everything. Technology keeps getting better, faster and more reliable. So no additional training is really required to prepare users for the migration. Since we're providing a traditional desktop experience, it really looks, feels, and acts like a local machine. By utilizing these virtual resources for intensive applications, other VDIs can simultaneously perform operations more efficiently. I'm gonna let Andrew explain that here in just a little bit. When he does a demo, Andrew is our solutions architect. One that I utilize quite a bit at Advanced 2000. He kind of comes up and designs these solutions per company specifications, what they need. So different flavors of desktops that we have. We really are software agnostic. We've got a desktop that'll support any type of production staff, really. VDIs, for the most part, will pretty much do the trick on any applications. We do have a top level tier of rack mounted workstations for those really intense application specific uses that are very process intensive. But we have solutions really for any type of application. Most of our Revit, AutoCAD type users are using these Designer VDIs and Designer Plus Q2s. As you can see, 4 cores, 3.7 gigs, 3.7 gigahertz, and 30 gigs of RAM. Definitely got the graphics to go along with that. All these are dedicated resources per virtual desktop. So it's not like a shared resource per se. These users are getting these resources, and we have found that these desktops are very efficient for the applications that are being used. So, and if one user just works a lot faster than the other, we can easily scale, add additional RAM or resources as necessary. So it's not just a one shoe fits all scenario, but all those things get worked out typically in a demo type phase where we decide what desktops are going to fit each group of the company. We are AEC industry experts. So that being said, I want to reiterate that our IT engineers have a lot of experience working in this industry. So we know all the applications that you guys are using right now. whether it be your design authoring tools, Panzera, Nuforma, Deltek Vision. We know all this stuff. We have experience. We have implemented it time after time after time into our data center for clients, and we're very efficient at it. So let's ask yourself, why should I transition to a private cloud? There's a lot of benefits, a lot more than I have actually listed here, but I'm going to go through these because these are really the talking points. And protection against loss of data. So we lose our customer data, we go out of business. We take this very seriously. Data is mirrored between two SANs, snapshot every night. Backups are held in retention for 30 days. We have 2 data centers, and we replicate that data between the 2. So your data is going to be in multiple locations. This is a big expense reduction. So if you're looking at building your own, you'll have a big capital expense to go with that versus utility operational expense. You know, our solutions are monthly subscription based type of service utility. Okay, so you pay us monthly. There's no big capex expense involved with that. And a lot of people will jump in and begin to build their own cloud, and we're more than happy to actually consult with them on that. We do consulting for on-premise solutions, but most of the time we get in there and we find out, you know, the storage array is not sufficient for what we need to do in a real production type environment, and they just don't have the right tools. There's a lot of upgrades that have to go in place. But if you need consulting on that, we're more than happy to help you with it. Looking at your own, you'll have a hardware life cycle is going to be extended with us. So having to repurchase hosts, or let's say you've got new video cards that need to come out, but they don't fit in your old host, so you got to buy all new hosts. So this kind of stuff happens, and we take on that responsibility as the service provider, and it's not passed back off onto you. You just keep up your monthly subscription, and we take care of all those upgrades and keep the infrastructure humming. So we've got support for those virtual workstations, which is also provided in the data center. Leave your IT staff to work on more critical tasks internally. Desktops and data. When you look at accessibility with full mobility, really, you've got desktops and data that can be accessed remotely, which is absolutely a big problem right now. People that I've talked to, they're using VPN. They're literally saving to Central on their Revit files over a VPN connection. I feel like we just went back 10 years before VDI was even available, or before we even had Panzera working. So this is really a built-in DR for the current, you know, COVID-19 work from home policies that are being implemented across the country right now. And who knows when all that's going to be over. I'm looking forward to hearing from our customer about how they have been impacted there. David Lee, he's going to speak with us here in a bit, as I mentioned. But your users, it can make real-time changes to projects while you're meeting with your clients and consultants, and that's value in itself. Project oversight, you know, you've got your model managers, they have access to that real-time data because everybody is working in real time. It's like everybody's in the same office. This virtualization really enables that collaboration, not only internally, but you can bring in outside consultants into your cloud, or they can build their own cloud, and we spin up a collaboration server for your project. So there's a lot of different ways to do that and kind of eliminate all of these other file transfer applications that are needed, like M360 or even Panzera for that matter. Panzera has its benefits too, just really depends on the use case and what you're doing. So scalability. let's talk about that for a second. Resources can be quickly provisioned. You just bought a firm, you need to add that firm to your domain. I think we just did this with David. They brought on, or they kind of consumed another firm that was retiring. So the owner was retiring, and David took over there, and we just integrated them right into Quorum's cloud. It was very efficient and easy. So you're going to add more employee desktops as needed, and storage. Just clone out the type of desktop and assign that to the users. Additionally, desktops and server capacity, if you're adding storage, it's easy, and you only pay for what you need. So instead of going out and buying a big storage appliance and having to keep that thing upgraded forever long, you buy what you need in the storage side of things, and we scale up as needed. I think this instant changes to your data capacity is really beneficial. The competitive edge side of things, having that instant change to your data is critical. It really increases the access for your employees. They can start a process or 3D rendering, a print job, whatever, go home, log into the virtual desktop and check it out, make sure everything gets completed and is working properly. So that's pretty efficient. Or if they are on a project deadline, they need to go home, spend some time with their family, jump back on the VDI and work that evening. That's very doable. It just really translates into greater efficiency, which is definitely a cost savings. So how do you get connected to private cloud? We have our own carrier department that can really design, sell, implement, manage all types of networks. We can also work with your existing circuit carrier to make sure you're going to have what's needed for a good experience in the cloud. Most large firms, they have an MPLS fully meshed network, so all offices can see all offices. We like to recommend point-to-point private circuits. So 1.5 megs up and down per user is a requirement. So with a point-to-point circuit, it's really clean. You pay for what you need. We recommend that really for various reasons. You've got control over that quality. You've got control over who we purchase that circuit from. We have control over. Unlike a fully meshed network where you're limited to that one carrier that may not be on net in all of your locations, so you have to pay a premium on those off-net locations. Whereas a point-to-point circuit, you go straight to on-net provider, and they go from that office all the way to the data center, and you have less hops, which is going to be key for less latency on that circuit. So you really don't want a bunch of hops. The point-to-point kind of limits that in effect, and you just go straight to the source carrier for support if anything were to go wrong with that circuit. Whereas a fully meshed network, they've got their carrier. They have to reach out to that local loop provider to get support if that's where the issue is, and so on and so forth. So dedicated internet connections. Well, also, I guess, point-to-point circuits are not really subject to that speedway congestion, so we don't have to overcompensate, and we just really buy for what you need. Unlike this dedicated internet connection type service, people are always overbuying just to make sure, because really, if you buy a 100 meg dedicated DIA circuit, you're likely only going to get about 75 megs, so there's some overbuying there. Public internet, as of right now, is great for small offices or even a backup connection. You've got, and the same with DIA, dedicated internet connection. It's great. Residential class or even mobile hotspots is good enough for traveling and remote working scenarios like we have a lot of right now. So the fully meshed network, obviously the image over here on the left, everybody can see everybody. Moving that to this hub and spoke configuration. Yes, it's a big ordeal, but we have a lot of experience in dealing with this. But most of the time, companies have a network in place, and we just kind of work with their carriers. And if they're new to the cloud and they're ready to start a new network contract, then we start looking at these private circuits as an option for them. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that's really what our private cloud service is all about. I'm gonna show you a couple case studies from current customers that we have right now. PGAL, they have moved to this point-to-point type circuits. They go straight into Advanced 2000. They go through the firewall. Everybody has their own firewall. So these networks are secure and private to that individual companies, completely segregated from other businesses. Now, we also have co-location space. So if you have your own firewall appliances, you just put them in our colo, and we do all that, or we can help you with it with our smart hands in the data center. But PGAL is about 200 users, 9 locations. They've got point-to-point circuits. They use public internet for their smaller satellite offices, centralized storage, cloud desktops, backup, help desk. Obviously, with 9 offices, they had a lot of infrastructure, a lot of data spread out across the country. We just consolidated all that data to the data center. Obviously, they're going to save some money in that scenario. Those hardware refresh cycles, collaboration in-house and with their partners, work from home, which is company benefit and culture. Seeing more and more of that today, and it's just completely accessible for everybody, really. Case study 2, another network diagram is FKP Canon Design. FKP was a customer since 2011. They recently got purchased by Canon Design. They became FKP Canon now. I believe they're actually just Canon Design. But they were about 130 users, 3 locations. They had point-to-point circuits and public internet as just backup or redundancy, which is always recommended as well. As you can see from this diagram, and even in Columbus, where they had a smaller office, they had a small point-to-point 10 meg circuit. There's lots of different ways to do this. This is really an efficient way. You're going to get very low latency from point-to-point circuits. But they had their centralized storage, cloud desktops, 25 plus servers, backups, help desk, problem solved here, data in multiple locations, hardware refresh cycles, collaboration. This really is a recurring theme with all of our clients, is they've got spread out data, and they need to have that data in one location, so it's fully accessible by the entire company at all times, and it's just such a huge benefit for companies. Those work from home policies and benefits, and especially now with everything that's going on, it's really just private cloud is really, it's just kind of a built-in disaster recovery scenario with the current policies and the climate of the situation that we're having right now with COVID-19. This just kind of builds that immunity for that level, and just allows you guys to still be really efficient even when you're working from home. This customer in particular, FKP, I guess I'll point out the former CIO, Bruce Haupt, moved FKP to our cloud, and after Canon Design purchased them, Bruce Haupt moved on to a different company, which is now HLB Lighting Design. And they've got about 9 offices throughout the country. And Bruce reached out to me and said, I want to take this company virtual. And we did a lot of stuff for them. And now HLB Lighting Design is completely virtual, literally just in the nick of time before all of this stuff happened. So I think that in itself says a lot, that a customer would move on and then just hire us all over again to take another company virtual. I think it says a lot about our commitment and our service to our clients. With that said, I have got Quorum Architects as a customer since 2012. David Lee is the owner. They have been through about 3 iterations of upgrades since they first started with us, recommitting contractually for every one of them, which I would say has a lot to say about Advanced 2000, our service, and hopefully me as well. I had to clear my throat, but I did not have the virus. Quorum is about 30 users now. They were around 22 before they did a firm consumption, and they just consolidated that firm into their cloud environment and added the desktops and storage as necessary. But that is their services: cloud desktop servers, backups, Microsoft. They purchased Bluebeam from us, use our help desk. Problem solved for them is IT was a hassle. Their infrastructure is aging, hardware, and refresh cycles. Working from home was really a company benefit and culture, especially during this time. And even before this time, people were able to work from home, whether they were on maternity leave or whatnot. It was a big deal, and a great benefit for those mothers to be able to still continue work and take care of their babies at home as well. And so that was a very also the predictable cost of the infrastructure, the subscription-based service was beneficial to David as well. And so, you know, with no further ado, I'm gonna hand it off to David to share his experience with our service, and also tell us, you know, a little bit about how the ATK solution has helped during the current work from home policies that have been implemented. So let me relinquish control here, guys.
Go ahead, David.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a good morning. We appreciate the chance to talk with Advanced 2000 and about Advanced 2000 this morning. We have an architectural firm in Fort Worth, Texas, and our work has always been scattered across the country and into Asia and some of the Pacific countries. And we have chosen to centralize so that we can travel wherever we need to serve our clients. We have a lot of retail, restaurant type clients, a lot of municipal type of clients, and people that keep us out of the office a lot on the road. We had previously, before 2012, been servicing our own servers and our own technology and building everything. You know, basically, everybody knows the headaches of trying to build and maintain an AutoCAD system. We had come to Advanced 2000 and asked them about the possibility of running AutoCAD and Revit on the cloud, and they said, yes, you can. Of course, we're skeptical about that. How can you do that? So as we got into it more, we realized all of our computing sources are in their data farm. We don't have any servers in our office. We just have laptops that everybody has, and that lets us move around wherever we need to, whenever we need to. So out of our staff of 30, there might be a day when 5 or 6 of us are out of the office typically. we are, like Randall had said, we're in our second generation, actually, of our second full generation of our new hardware build. And we've just moved up to Windows Server 2019. We've moved up to Windows 10 as our base operating system. We do Revit 2019, AutoCAD 2019, Bluebeam, Microsoft, everybody's in there. And as part of the package, we've also got, we've moved all of our communications onto the Teams platform, which is what you're using today. So what that lets us do is we are absolutely and totally independent of the shackles of our office. Now, we did that before so that we could stay on top of our moving around, so we could allow people a little bit of freedom as traffic got heavier in the cities, as they always do, as our schedules change. What we didn't realize was that this virus that came on us in the past month and what the impact was going to be. So about 9 days ago, County, which is where we are, put a lockdown on travel and offices, and they basically issued shelter in place. What that means is that now we had to take 30 people off site and work independently, but somehow still work together. So the reason that we're able to do that is that we just made our upgrade, and we've been building for this for 8 years, but we didn't know how. So everybody, what we've done is we've sent them home with their laptops. We've sent them home with a large monitor and keyboard and mouse, and everybody's working. So they're connecting to their home-based internet system, and our prime communication is through Teams. But because we're sharing our data, our farm, our communication through Teams, email, drawings, everything is shared amongst us. There's no problems or questions about if anyone has current information. If we need to tie discussions in, we're able to do that through the technology. Again, one platform. So we're using just our laptops that lets us access everything. The large monitors let us, of course, develop our designs in Revit, Autodesk, and everything else on that. So we stay pretty transparent. Our biggest issue these days is more staying social and staying connected with the people in our office. Technologically, it's not even a question. And so our biggest questions we're getting from our users right now is, why does my Internet Explorer look different than it did a week ago? Those are easy questions. That means that everything else is working. So we've been very, very pleased with the way things are going. No issues with speed, no issues with data loss. And what this lets us do really is we are operating as architects and engineers in our business, and we're doing what we love to do without having to be data people. So we really can focus on our business, we can focus on our specialty, and we can focus on working while we're away from the office. There are not issues with us having to build and maintain systems at everybody's homes. And we have rolled this out across the country in hotel rooms, in offices, in cars, off your cell phone, and it works. I tell people that, you know, that's the thing about it, it works, and I will verify that always. I will show people that it will work on my phone as well as it works on a desktop. Of course, you don't use it like that, but it's a cool gee whiz thing. So we always come back to the fact that we are fully operational. We're just in a different place. We're not together anymore. And until we're kind of free to go back to our office, we are able to carry on. We're able to communicate with our clients. We're able to communicate with our team, and we're able to maintain our database and our system. I don't have a lot of presentation beyond that. Randall, I don't know if you want to address any specific questions or if there are any questions that have come across from the group.
Yeah, that was great, David. I just like the other day when he told me your biggest problem was having to buy a couple of Wi-Fi devices, sending everybody home. So that was pretty cool to hear. And Andrew actually has the next slide. Andrew's going to do a quick demo of a VDI for us, show us about that. Also, Andrew, talk about how users can access multiple VDIs at the same time if they need to run a process-intensive application.
All right, yeah, absolutely, no problem at all. So this is my name's Andrew. I'm
Show your screen.
Yeah, I will share my screen in a moment. Let's see, screen one. So my name's Andrew. I'm a solution architect with Advanced 2000. I'm coming to you guys live from one of our primary data centers and our admin headquarters in Buffalo, New York. So yeah, just kind of touching briefly on some of the stuff that Randall had alluded to. So it's kind of one of those solutions where the proof is in the pudding to a large extent. So what I'm going to do is just kind of run through a quick demonstration of what the virtual desktop solution kind of looks like. Specifically, we leverage the VMware Horizon platform to do all of our virtual desktop delivery to our end customers. So you can see right now I'm on just one of our company issue laptops. I'll show you guys real quick. Nothing crazy from a specification standpoint. A very slow Intel Core i5 processor, 8 gigs of RAM. Nothing too wild. And what I have installed here, in addition to some other tools and utilities, is the VMware Horizon client. So that's a client that you can install for free. It's available both at the VMware website, and another thing that Randall kind of alluded to earlier on here is our cloud desktop infrastructure is accessible from pretty much anywhere and any device. So the VMware Horizon client is also available in the Android Play or the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store. Pretty much any device can run the VMware Horizon client. It's a very lightweight client. You can see here when I launch it, I have a list of servers that are available to me that are kind of pre-configured here. This is our internal. This is what I would use to connect to my desktop in our office, for example. And this is our demo environment. So I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like to log into a virtual desktop. So I'll click on that server and I'm immediately prompted with my credentials, just like I would if I was sitting down at my computer and logging in the morning. So I'll log in with our sales demo credentials. And then I'm presented with a list of available desktops. So again, in this case, the credentials that I've entered are only entitled for one desktop. That's our designer VDI here. But again, given that you're accessing cloud-based resources, there isn't any limitation on the number of desktops that you can have access to. So another thing that Randall kind of alluded to here is we have many different flavors of desktops. We have the ability to deliver everything from a simple administrative desktop to, say, an accounting or an admin assistant user, all the way up to a very, very high performance dedicated workstation for some heavy rendering workloads that you might have or something like that. And as a user account, you can be assigned to or allocated any number of these desktops at any given time. So you could have your general desktop that you do for all of your day-to-day work, and then maybe you would have a floating desktop that's assigned to your company that's checked out like any other resource would be to do some of those heavy high performance tasks that are needed. So in this list, you select the desktop you want to connect to. In this case, I want to connect to our designer desktop. And what it does is it inherently establishes a connection through the VMware Horizon client to the cloud environment in our data center. So you can see now I have a completely different desktop here in front of me. Show you guys just real quick again, oops. With a completely different set of resources. So I've got an Intel Xeon 2687 3 gigahertz processor, of which I have 4 cores assigned. I've got 32 gigs of RAM now. If we dive even deeper, you can see we've got an NVIDIA Grid M10 graphics card or graphics adapter with 4 gigs of frame buffer, all assigned to this virtual workstation. So from my dinky little laptop or from even, let's say, my cell phone, if I wanted to, I could connect to this virtual desktop and I could access all of the things that I need to access. So I'll just kind of quickly launch Revit 2019 to give you guys an example of, what that user experience is like. And as kind of David alluded to and Randall alluded to here, it's no different from a local desktop, right? There's no learning curve here. The user experience is pretty much identical to what you might expect, for your users that already have desktops and PCs. So let's just launch the sample architecture project here. you know, we know it's a small model, but again, you know, we can provide whatever resources are needed to be able to handle any size models. We've got some customers, for example, running Civil 3D of 5-mile stretches of highway, really resource intensive stuff, running without issue here in our environment. Just pop open a quick 3D view here, and I will warn you guys, I'm no expert in the realm of you know, architectural design, but you know, I know enough to be able to show you guys that rotating a 3D model here is as seamless as it would be if you were doing that on a local desktop. Again, you know, the resources are all running out of the virtual data center, so it does not matter what device you're connecting from and how powerful or not powerful it is. The only thing it needs to have is the ability to run the VMware Horizon client and connect you up to your virtual desktop. So again, you know, kind of the proof is in the pudding here. Just wanted to show you guys a quick demonstration to kind of finish up here. The way and I'll just kind of minimize out of that desktop and go back to our Teams app and stop the sharing. You know, just to kind of summarize again, the process we go through with a lot of customers, and Randall will touch on this a little more here, is we want you to play around and test this stuff as well. We have a demo environment where we provide desktops just like this for you guys to upload your models, upload your content, your data, take them for a spin, see what the experience is like, and really, you know, prove to you and your employees that this is a completely viable business model. You know, maybe 15 years ago it was tough, but with the advent of the advancements of technology, the advancements of internet connectivity and bandwidth, it's become almost seamless. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I got for now, Randall. So I'll hand it back over to you.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Thanks, David. Let's see here. I'm going to share. David's being a goof, I guess. So let's just so that was kind of our full demo evaluation type of scenario. That's our methodology, as Andrew was explaining, is we like to give everybody demos. Depending on the different types of groups that you have involved with your company, we may suggest one desktop versus the other. Really application based is how we recommend those desktops for you guys to test. And if that's not enough, then we take it a step further and just really work out basically what you're going to need to migrate into our data center. You know, I can't stress enough the importance of these actual these demo times and you guys testing the desktops that are going to be needed for those different groups. So once you figure that out, you know, we migrate to a pilot or possibly do a project cloud. Let's say you do a real-time live project in our data center as kind of your first, you know, step, as in commitment with us, and just start rolling with that. And once you guys figure all that out and you feel comfortable with our service, then we just migrate you the rest of the way. And there's some logos. Few of our companies, I can't fit them all on the screen, but I think we're hosting upwards of $15,000 or $20,000 or 20,000 AEC desktops right now. So, push the wrong button there. Trying to minimize you. So, I guess final note, really, we have a lot of services. We really strive to be a one-stop shop for all your IT service needs, however you want to use us, really. So in that realm, we've got private cloud, as we discussed today. We do Office 365 migrations. We can provide all those licensing. We are a Tier 1 Microsoft provider. We sell Bluebeam, and we're very competitive at that. We have a pretty robust, hosted telephony system. A lot of our cloud customers take advantage of once they get into our data center. We can also do on-premise telephony and whatever you guys need. We can do on-site support. We consult. We help people build their own clouds if that's what you want to do. We can sell the hardware for those too. We're very competitive at that for those on-premise solutions. In addition, any networking and local hardware you need, we can provide that as well. We have relationships with all of the major providers. So the list really goes on. We're here to help. We want to partner with your business to build a long-lasting relationship, help you navigate through this stuff that's going on right now. We're a really good outlet for that. And really with that, I'm gonna close. Everybody, stay safe out there, and I'll follow up with you after this webinar soon, and we can hopefully kind of take this to the next step and get you guys some demos and get you rolling. Obviously, you're interested enough to come today, and we appreciate your time. I hope it was informative, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Thanks. Thanks again, David.